Today on Poor Guy's Guide, we've got the Room Essentials 5-shelf bookcase. We're going to assemble it today. FYI, this box is heavy. Make sure you are either strong enough to lift it or, have somebody help you. So you've got the little kit. It includes all of your screws and your dowels. First, separate all your pieces because some of them look the same, but they're not. So you're going to have 3 of these panels that have these little notches in them. And those are your H panels as according to the directions. And then you're going to have one, this is L panel. You'll know it because it has the holes into the finished. That's your middle shelf. You have 4 of these panels that are the sides of your shelf. These separate. And then 2 that are your top and bottom. And there's no markings on them other than your holes in the middles. These are your G panels, by the way, the ones that have no extra markings on them. And you're going to stick dowels into the ends of these. And each one's going to get 4. The dowels go to the inside. I already did one to the outside, which you can pull it out with your hammer if you do it wrong. There's 4 holes in these G panels, so we're going to do that to the inside hole on all 4. Next we'll go to the C and D, which C and D have 2 holes to the front, 1 hole, or 2 holes, 4 holes to the front, 2 holes to the back. And once again to the inside, you're going to put your dowels, which I already did. In your kit, you're going to get these little lock washer things, and you're just going to tap those in. And when you do, you want to put the open end towards your hole, so it has something it's able to lock onto your screw when you spin it. If you don't do it right, it won't lock. You can spin them after they're in there, but it's just something to be aware of. Same thing for the other panel. Now you're going to take one of your G panels and slide it into the notches. Now you have these big screws to anchor those on. It's holding it in with the dowel. The table's really small. Holding it in with the dowel and these screws. And whenever you're screwing something in, just feed it fingers tight first into the hole. And this kit doesn't come with a screwdriver, so you are going to need a screwdriver. Phillips said he'll do it. So I have a power drill. I'm just going to be gentle with it. Snug it up. So panel C and D connect to your panel G, which you had 2 of those. C and D are known because you have these little screws. Now, your next step is going to be connecting another panel G to your A and B panels. Okay? A and B are known because you have the holes coming to the outside. Panel G going into A and B. And always remember, shiny side out or matching, however you want to do it. And then more of the big screws. And I'm just snugging these up just to make sure both holes find each other. And you probably should only use a screwdriver, just so you're not over tightening them. But I'm a renegade. So these are A and B. And you can tell because A and B have the side holes and not the big hole in the top. Balance. I'm just gonna shove that together. The dowels help hold it together while you grab the screws. And honestly, on the floor, this is gonna be way easier if you're doing it at home. All right, so now I have both shelving units. Oh, that's not tight. Let's redo that one. Now it's tight. So now you have two U-shaped panels that are down here, and you're gonna put the center shelf on, the A and B one. And remember, the center shelf has all the holes in it. That's L. That's just 4 screws, no dowels, it looks like. So just like always, you're remembering, and honestly, if you mess up, you just take it apart, but you're remembering to put there you go. You're remembering shiny side is your outside edge. It'll just look dumb if you don't do it like that. And I always tighten. I always tighten by finger tight first, because if you tighten by finger tight first, you can match all the holes, and there's still a little wiggle room and everything. It's a trick that you should know. Now this Milwaukee drill is a bit excessive. I'm trying to be easy on the screws. I'll strip them. I can strip the screws if I'm not careful. But now we're starting to look like a freaking shelf, okay? Okay. Now that you have A and B, you have your shelf looking a lot like this. You gotta put assembly dowels in. That's these long ones with a little screw end. Those are literally gonna pin the whole thing together, and you just use the directions are saying to the outside hole. You have a hole where you just drilled your Phillips heads in, and to the outside now you're gonna drill in these assembly dowels. Oh, did I strip that already? Oh, that's scary. Oh no, she's in. They'll stop spinning. They'll stop going in when they're flat. So now that you put those pins in, you're gonna lift the C and D that have these little cams in it, and you're gonna set it on top. Make sure you try to set it flat. And my camera stopped recording, so you didn't get to see that. But you set it on as flat as you can and push it down so it's firm and solid. And then you're gonna tighten these little cams. You're just gonna spin them, and they're gonna lock onto those pins that you just put in there, all right? Now, our next thing is to put on your backing. Okay, so I flipped this down, your unfinished side up, okay? Because you gotta put on your back panels, which these things are freaking flimsy. Not much good I can really say about them. And you're gonna just line them up to tack on to your board, okay? Oh no. These panels are chintzy at best. And honestly, I don't even know if I'd want to put them on normally. I'd rather just see the back of my wall. But I'm gonna do the whole project here. Now, doing the second panel, that's when you're gonna grab your washers and go. I'm gonna do it right down the seam of my panel. Now the nail is gonna separate the two boards if you have them centered in the middle. That should be fine, because that's what the washer's for, to pin it all on. And then use the extra nails to pin all the outside edges. And you can just have a nailing fest here to get those to all stick. All right, so now we have our finished product without the shelves. One thing to note is you could get overhang if you don't square it up. Use all the little nails if you want it to square itself. This backing, even though it's cheap in plywood, you want to square it on the frame real careful and tack it down so it will hold square. Otherwise you get overhangs on both sides. If you don't care, like I don't care, go for it. Now for the shelves. Remember, always shiny side out. All you're gonna do is where do you want your shelves? That's why there's so many holes on each side, and they come with these little metal dowels. What size shelf space gap do you want? I'm just gonna go 4 down, stick it in. Just for examples purposes, you can move these when you're done. 4 down, stick it in. All right, and basically you have 3 of these to figure it out. And you're just lining them up, and you have a shelf. You can put things on it. So hopefully this helped you figure this out. This is the poor guy's guide to building a cheap shelf.